with us here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Got a loaded show ahead as we are going to give you our latest 53-man roster projection for your Seattle Seahawks. 1 week into training camp, just over a week away from the first preseason game. We'll go position by position. I'll give you my thoughts and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, Chase Sr. and the 49ers report, they challenged us to get 1,000 comments on today's video. The most comments we've gotten on a single video this month is 206. We got to do better than that. Let's take down the Niners, show Chase who's boss. He said there's no way you guys could get 1,000 comments on today's video. I said we're going to make it happen. Watch us. Spam S in the comment section for your Seattle Seahawks, and we'll get started with today's show. The quarterback position, no surprise here. Geno Smith and Sam Howell will be the QBs for the Seahawks entering 2024. Would be very surprised if the Seahawks carry 3 QBs on the active roster. I think P.J. Walker's got a decent chance to hang around on the practice squad, potentially be elevated if an injury were to happen down the line to Smith or Howell, but at least for now, that will be your quarterback room. The running back room. Going to roll with Walker, Charbonnet, and McIntosh as your 3 running backs for Seattle here. And I will say this, when it comes to the running back position, I think this is one thing that could change if we're going to look back and say, hey, where was Tyler wrong? There's, I think, still a decent chance they go 4 running backs here before the season begins. Maybe they carry some extra guys on the practice squad for now, whatever it may be, but just at the moment, the way this roster shakes out, and you'll see the rest of the way, I think 3 makes the most sense for this point in time. But I like George Holani. We've talked about Ricky Person Jr., who the Seahawks brought in from the UFL. Those guys have a decent chance, but I think at the moment, just based on pure roster numbers and what makes most sense across the board, 3 running backs seems the most likely scenario, at least right now. How would you grade the Seahawks 53-man roster at the moment? What do you guys think? I think it's about a B+, and we'll go through it all here in just a bit, the rest of the positions. But want to hear from you guys. Give us your grades. A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know in the comments section below. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time, the best place to go for last-minute tickets for the best seats and the lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and more. Here's how it works. Download the Game Time app. Search the event you want to go to. Let's say you want to go see those Seattle Mariners at T-Mobile Park. You can do so by searching for the game, prices listed, see if you like the seat or not. You get the view of that seat, and then you're checking out within a matter of moments. Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. It is very easy to use. And when you download the Game Time app, create an account and use the code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. All right, let's go to the wide receiver room for Seattle. I think the Seahawks go 6 receivers here with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, JSN leading the way. Jake Bobo, the second-year receiver, the former UDFA out of UCLA. I think he'll see an increased role here. Derek Young, I think, also makes a return to the 53-man roster. And then Chenault, who the Seahawks picked up this offseason in free agency from the Carolina Panthers. I have him making the roster as well. So that means that I have Dee Eskridge missing the 53-man roster. I know that he was returning kicks on our Madden sims and all that within the last few weeks, but I'm not expecting Dee Eskridge to make this 53-man roster unless something drastically changes. He is going to have to perform at a very high level throughout the rest of the preseason and through training camp. And we just haven't heard much about Dee Eskridge, of him just going off the charts, if you will, at this point, to convince us otherwise that he's going to make this 53-man roster. We've heard Mike Macdonald say they are not looking for guys that can only do one thing and be a special teamer. They are looking for guys that are all-around good players that can contribute both on offense and special teams or defense and special teams, and Dee Eskridge, his special team skills are not going to be enough to save him, if you will, from earning a spot on this roster the way things stack up right now. So I think he ultimately misses. We'll see how that goes. The tight end room for Seattle includes Noah Fant, Pharaoh Brown, A.J. Barner, and Jack Westover. We are projecting Westover to make the 53-man roster here, and not everybody agrees with that. But let me explain why. Personally, when I look at the other tight ends outside of Noah Fant, with Pharaoh Brown and A.J. Barner, those guys are blocking tight ends. And if you're going to roll without Jack Westover there, then I'm going to be concerned that you only have one true receiving tight end in Noah Fant. Jack Westover played in this offense at the University of Washington under Ryan Grubb, worked with offensive line coach Scott Huff, played at a high level with the Washington Huskies, was third in receiving last year with that high-powered offense. I think they're going to need Jack Westover. I think he ultimately makes the 53-man roster. And personally, I'm rooting for him to make the 53-man roster because I want to see this team have another true receiving threat at that tight end spot. Will Jack Westover make the 53-man roster for the Seattle Seahawks? Weigh in, let us know what you think. Y for yes, in for no, if he is going to make the roster or not. Folks, want to make sure you're subscribed to Seattle Seahawks Today for daily news and rumors, live shows twice a week on Wednesdays and Fridays throughout the offseason. We're bringing in watch parties as well, as we'll be live for every single Seahawks game this season, including the preseason opener next week. You won't want to miss a moment of it. We got you covered each and every day on the channel. Anytime there's breaking news, if the Seahawks make a signing or trade, we're going to talk about and cover it here on Seahawks Today. Closing in on 53,000 subscribers. Need your help to do so. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Next up, let's go to the offensive line. And we are rolling with Charles Cross, Laken Tomlinson, Oluwatimi, Christian Haynes, and Abraham Lucas as your starting five. I expect, fingers crossed, before the season begins, Abraham Lucas comes off that PUP list and is ready to go week one at the right tackle spot. We'll see. Then I got 5 more offensive linemen for you. I know some people are projecting 9. I think they go 10. Nick Harris holds on to that center spot for now. I know that they've had some rumblings with Connor Williams potentially bringing him in, but he's not signed yet, so we'll say Nick Harris stays. George Fant going to be your backup swing tackle. Anthony Bradford, McClendon Curtis, they're fighting for playing time at the guard positions. And then Laumea, the Seahawks 6th-round pick out of Utah. I know some people are predicting that Laumea will get cut, but I find that very hard to believe. The Seahawks already will just give up on a player like that who can play the guard and tackle spot. I am projecting that Mike Gerald gets cut, but I think he hangs around the practice squad at the very least. The biggest question mark remains on this team, the offensive line, and how good this group comes along and how healthy they can stay. And Abraham Lucas is a big part of that. Can he not only get healthy, but can he stay healthy? That remains to be seen. And the same with Charles Cross as well. After the 3 games he missed last year, he never was quite the same player. He hasn't looked like that top 10 pick that the Seahawks used on him a few years ago. So we'll see how the offensive line shakes out. I'm a little nervous, folks. What is your confidence level in the Seahawks offensive line right now? Scale it for me 1 through 10. How are you feeling about this group? I'm not feeling so great. I'm about a 6 or 7, and that might be generous. Give me your confidence level in the comment section below and let us know. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball now. Let's start with the defensive line. What an improved group from 2023. Leonard Williams is back. He's got a new contract. He was the best player on the Seahawks defense in the second half of 2023. Jaron Reed is back. He's been very vocal, and they've made it known that they want to move him around a bit, play both inside and outside. Draymond Jones, we've heard, is going to play both on the defensive line and the outside linebacker spot. The rookie Byron Murphy, a lot of hype about him, and I would expect Byron Murphy to play a significant role in this Seahawks defense right away. The guys behind him, pretty solid as well. Jonathan Hankins, a very good pickup from the Dallas Cowboys, played under A.D., the Seahawks defensive coordinator in Dallas. Miles Adams and Cameron Young also there. We got an update from Mike Macdonald this week that Cameron Young is progressing quickly, that he should be back on the active roster sooner than later. I am super pumped about this group. And I think they'll have plenty of options that Mike Macdonald can work with to mix these guys up. We've heard from Macdonald that they're going to run the 3-4. They're going to run the 4-3. They're going to mix up both as well as with the dime and nickel and dollar packages and all that. This is going to be a nightmare for opposing offenses, and I cannot wait. The big key, too, besides just getting after the quarterback, is run defense. And I think that's where you're going to see the biggest improvement in this group compared to what it was last year, is their ability to stop the run. Inside linebacker spots, Jerome Baker and Terrell Dodson both back from injury. The reports out of training camp from the two of them is that they have looked 100% healthy and that they have played very well throughout these first few days. Hopefully they stay healthy, but they're certainly on the right track. You got the rookie, Tyrese Knight there, Jon Rhattigan as well. The guys behind Baker and Dodson remain the question mark. We'll see how quickly Knight comes along. Rhattigan, I would like to see him take a pay cut. I'm not paying him $3 million. I'd rather pay him $1 million, and I think he would take that. He'd be just happy to have a roster spot at this time. There could be some more changes. We've talked about guys like Zach Cunningham still available on the free agent market and such at this position, so that all remains to be seen. But this linebacker group looks a lot better right now than it did just a week ago. Who's a player the Seahawks should cut at this point? Give us a name or two. Be brutal. Your chance to lay in. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you really think about Dee Eskridge and some of those others out there. Weigh in and name a player you think should be gone. Let's go to the outside linebacker room for Seattle. Uchenna Nwosu, Boye Mafe, Derek Hall, and Darrell Taylor leading the way. Great to have Uchenna Nwosu back from injury, and he's looked fantastic throughout training camp. Boye led the team in sacks last season. He's looking to build upon that. Darrell Taylor we have sticking around, but he could be a potential trade candidate for the Seahawks here in the coming weeks. We'll see what goes on there. The corner room, I think this is a very solid group. I got 6 corners making the roster with Devin Witherspoon, and expectations are sky high for him entering his second season in the NFL, coming off a Pro Bowl campaign. Rick Wallen had a sophomore slump last year, but he's put in the work this offseason. He's improved his tackling. Trey Brown and Mike Jackson competing for that outside corner spot. And then you got the Tiger rookies from Auburn, Nehemiah Pritchett and D.J. James. I have them both making the 53-man roster. This corner room has more depth than I think people will give it credit for. Trey Brown and Mike Jackson are both starter-quality outside corners in this league. Trey's looked really good the last few days. I think he's got the edge on Mike to ultimately win that job. But we saw last year that competition came down to the very last preseason game. So although Trey has got the edge right now, it's not a foregone conclusion, but it's going to be very competitive, and you got some good options to work with there. The safety room for Seattle, Rayshon Jenkins, Julian Love, they'll be your 2 starting safeties. Kayvon Wallace, who the Seahawks brought in from Tennessee, he's part of the fold now. And then Kobe Bryant, also back as well. He was banged up for much of last year. Jarek Reed, we have starting the season on the PUP list. The hope is to have him back by mid-season, potentially. We shall see. Pressure's on Kobe Bryant to perform because Mike Macdonald wants to run the 3 high safety looks. They want to be able to use 3 safeties on the field at the same time, and he needs to be that guy. Former Thorpe Award winner at Cincinnati. He was picked, remember, ahead of Rick Wallen, right? And there was a lot of hype about Kobe Bryant. They need to see more out of Kobe Bryant. He's been a guy that's played safety. He's played corner both. But now they've moved him to safety full-time. He finally needs to come into his own to that safety spot because they're going to need him there at that position. Who is a player that will make the Seahawks 53-man roster? And I don't want to hear you say Geno Smith or DK Metcalf. All right? Give me a roster bubble guy that is borderline, that you're not so sure about. Weigh in. Let us know in the comments section. Last and least, the special teams unit. Jason Myers is back, as well as Michael Dixon and Chris Stoll, a very good special teams group. The main thing with these 3, just don't get in the way, right? Don't make any mistakes. Just do your part. Don't be the reason why the Seahawks lose. I think it's a good group, and you'll like what you see from them. There you have it. That is our full 53-man roster projection for your Seattle Seahawks for 2024. Football is almost upon us, folks. Thanks for watching. If you made it to the very end of this 15-minute video, that means you're a real one. Spam real one in the comments section. We'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.